Hello, Max here, and I'm sure you're wondering where I've been. Don't worry, I am fine, and apart from being a little overweight, I'm perfectly healthy too. I'm gonna be completely honest with you all, I've been struggling with depression, probably for the last couple of months, but it really took hold over the last 4 weeks. During this time, I've been hiding away from everything, playing World of Warcraft and watching Star Trek on Netflix, barely talking to anyone. A pretty sorry state to be in, but man, I'd forgotten how good The Next Generation was. Even Frasier had a small cameo in one episode. With the help of my incredibly patient girlfriend, I've managed to pull myself out of this hole I've been living in and started trying to work out how I ended up in there in the first place. I've given up a lot to get this YouTube channel going and put an incredible amount of pressure on myself to make it successful. I had very little time for anything else that wasn't somehow contributing towards growing the channel in some way, and with it being my only source of income, I felt this was how I needed to spend all of my time. For success on YouTube as a business, especially for the first few 100,000 subs, you need to be pumping out daily content, and that's something I've always struggled with. I didn't want to have just another YouTube channel that spouts memes and other catchphrases for cheap, easy laughs. I'm not knocking what those channels do, I now completely understand that if it gets them daily content and hundreds of thousands of views, then good for them. It's just not for me. The problem for me is I'm not able to produce daily content in the styles that I want. The guides will take me 2 to 3 days each to properly put together, and while they're very good quality, when this is my only source of income, it's just not financially viable. And then imposter syndrome starts creeping in. I play the game at a mid-diamond level, and I rarely feel like I'm good enough to be telling everyone else how to play the game. I like to think of myself as a pretty rational person, and I know learning together doesn't mean I'm putting myself on a pedestal. I'm just sharing my experiences with you. But I still can't shake this feeling that I somehow need to be superior to do what I'm doing, and this negatively affects my enjoyment of Overwatch. Ladder anxiety when you're a YouTuber is some next level shit. I want to play Overwatch for fun again. No matter what your rank, it should be possible to want to win, but still enjoy the game if you lose. I started this channel because Martin, our buddy Joe, and I had some small success with a Hearthstone podcast. People seem to really enjoy our stupid to and fro with Martin's cringy sense of humour and me cutting him down about it, and of course Martin's laugh. I've decided I'm going to go back to work and get a normal job in IT again. Hopefully the fast evolving industry hasn't changed too much in the last 9 months, but Martin and I are going to keep the channel going. I want to take the pressure off myself to earn money from this and go back to doing it for fun, producing exactly what we want to make, just less often. This means going back to our roots and more content for entertainment purposes, less guides because I'm just not going to have the time with a normal job. I'll see if we can keep Road to Masters because I love that series, but they're taking almost 2 days a pop to put out, so I'm not sure. We'll definitely be getting more overly criticals out there because we love moments like this.
You know I'll give you like that mind placement. That was sneaky. That is a sneaky mind placement there.
What is your intention with that sneaky mind? Why don't you take us through it a little bit?
I was just like, I need to put my mind somewhere. That looks good.
We'll also throw overly criticals open to those supporting us on the Patreon, where if you guys submit games to us in 1080p at 60 frames a second, we'll analyze them for you with hopefully our usual brand of insight and immaturity. Details of how to submit will be at the end of the next Overly Critical. As I'll be going back to work, we wanted to find a way to put the money generated by the ad revenue and the Patreon back into the channel, so we'll be using the money to buy games and produce review/first impressions videos. These will be in a structured mini podcast style with relevant footage of the game in the background. We aim for this to be informative and entertaining. We also have some other ideas we're discussing, but nothing solid enough to talk about just yet. I appreciate that for some of you this is going to be disappointing, and to you guys I am sorry, but I need to dial everything back. I think in the last 3 months I've been out for some R&R twice. Perhaps if the channel continues to grow, Martin and I could look at it again someday and see if we can make it work as a business. Whether it does or not, as long as you guys enjoy this more chilled content we're planning, we'll keep making it for fun in our spare time. Next week, I've been invited to be the international caster for a special ESL event at Lucca Comics in Italy. I'll be there all weekend from Friday, October 28th to Sunday the 30th, casting the games of Josh from One Amongst Many. Josh and I are already friends and play a fair bit of Overwatch together, so this should be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Before I go, I'd just like to say thank you so much to everyone who has shown support and concern over the last month. About a week ago, I was actually ready to pack it in completely, shut down the Patreon, and leave the channel for good. But Martin showed me the messages and comments you've all been sending in, and it reminded me why we started doing this in the first place. to entertain and interact with like-minded people who share our passion for games. And I think I'm going to be much happier for it. Now that I'm back to my normal self, I should be much more active on Twitter at TotallyFutile, and we're going to start streaming again on twitch.tv/cynicalnerds. Although this time it will be a lot more casual and not only Overwatch, but some of the games that we'll be planning on doing impressions on. Until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.
Achievement unlocked, boys. We survived the night.
The battle was over.